Hello all, welcome back to Pabli Connect. So in this video we are going to understand how to automatically add user in Klaviyo list based on Google form responses. So are you also using these applications for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So over here I'm doing the same. I'm managing an events company, and for that company we regularly conduct webinars and sessions. And to conduct these we use Google Forms to collect the registrations. So now what I want is that as soon as a new form is submitted in my Google Forms, which is as soon as we receive a new registration, automatically with the help of the same details, a new profile should be created in my Klaviyo account, and that profile should be added to a particular list so that I can send targeted email marketing campaigns to all of these registrants. So to do this, we are going to create a connection between Google Forms and Klaviyo. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabli Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So I'm going to create all of this so that I can reduce the no-shows of my webinar. So do you also wish to learn this process step by step? Then let me take you to my computer screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video we are going to understand how to automatically add users in Klaviyo list based on Google form responses. So as the manager of an events company, I oversee various webinars and workshops throughout the year. So to streamline our audience management and enhance our marketing efforts, I want to set up this automation where what happens is that as soon as a new event registration is made for suppose this event Power of Automation, automatically a profile should be created in my Klaviyo account, and that profile should be added in a list, which is this list Power of Automation webinar registrants, so that I can create targeted email marketing campaigns for all of these registrants and reduce the no-shows. So this setup offers several benefits. It's keep our email list current and well organized, enable efficient and targeted follow-up communications, and allow for the personalized marketing based on the attendees' interest. So to do all of this, I've simply opened the landing page of Pabli by searching pabli.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we are going to open the landing page of Pabli, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month. But I'm an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in right over here. And now it is opening all Pabli apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabli. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabli Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here to access our Pabli Connects account. And now it is opening my dashboard. And to start with the automation, we are going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to automatically add user in Klaviyo list based on Google form responses. And then we are going to click on create, and as soon as we are going to click on create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now to start with our automation, we are going to select our trigger application, which is Google Forms. So I'm going to search for Google Forms right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are going to select it. And now for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new response received. And as soon as we are going to do this, it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Pabli's workflow at our Google Forms account. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy this webhook URL, and then we are going to open our Google Forms. And over here you can see that this is my form I'm going to create this automation for. So now from here we have to go on responses, and as you can see over here is the option of view in sheets. So I've already linked my Google Forms with my spreadsheet, so that's why it is showing the option of view in sheets. But if you haven't linked, you're going to get the option of link with sheets right over here. And as soon as you're going to link this form with your sheet, you are going to get the option of view in sheets. And then we are going to click on view in sheets right over here, and we are going to create a connection between a Google form and Pabli's workflow with the help of this sheet only. So what we have to do is we have to go on extensions, add-on, and then get add-ons. So we have to create a connection. For that we are going to add an extension right over here. So to get the extension, we are going to search for Pabli Connect webhooks. So I'm going to search for Pabli Connect webhooks right over here. As you can see the same, we are going to search for it and select it. And as you can see that I've already installed this extension right over here. That's why I'm going to get the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this, you're going to get the option of install right over here. And as soon as you're going to install this, you're going to refresh this spreadsheet. It is a really important step. And as soon as we're going to refresh the spreadsheet, we are going to go on extensions, and you can see Pabbly Connect webhooks will appear here. And now to go on initial setup right from here, and as soon as we're going to open the initial setup, it is asking me to select the sheet, webhook URL, and the trigger column. So as you know that our sheet name is form responses, so we are going to select the same right over here. For the webhook URL, we are going to paste the URL we copied from our workflow, and now for the trigger column, I'm going to enter the final data column. So for me it is you have to enter your final data column. And after entering this, we are going to click on submit, and as soon as we're going to click on submit, you can see setup configured successfully. So yes, with this we have successfully created a connection between our Google Forms and our Pabbly's workflow. But now it is saying waiting for webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission. In order to do this test submission, I'm going to open my sheets again. From here we are going to go on extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and over here you can see the button of send on event. So we are going to switch on this button because I want that as soon as a new event occurs in my spreadsheet, automatically these details should be sent to my workflow. So yes, you can see that we have switched on this button, and after switching this on, we are going to do the test submission. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to open my form, and then we are going to go and preview the form. And now we are going to do the test submission. For the name, I'm going to keep it as dummy user, so I'm going to enter it right over here. We are going to move on forward. For the email, I'm going to keep it as dummy22@pabblytudes.com. We are going to move on forward. For the phone number, I'm going to keep it as this. And now it is asking me for the organization, so I want the organization to be Pabbly, so I'm going to enter it right over here. Now we are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the dietary restriction, so I'm going to keep it as vegetarian right over here. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me what specific area of automation are you most curious about, so I'm going to select it. It is asking me how did you hear about this webinar. I'm going to select it. And now it is asking me for the current automation experience. So as you can see that this is not the required field, so I'm going to leave it as blank and click on submit. So yes, you can see that we have successfully registered for this webinar, and we have successfully did the test submission. And now what has happened is Google Forms has captured the response of this test submission, sent to a spreadsheet, and further with the help of the spreadsheet, we have successfully sent this response to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and check that if Pabbly has captured the details of this response or not. So I'm going to open my workflow, and yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the details of this response. You can see all the details. Over here you can see the name, dummy user, the organization that we entered, you can see the phone number that we entered, and also you can see the another details that we entered with the email. So yes, we have successfully did the test submission, and now with the help of these details only, we are going to create a Klaviyo profile. So what we are going to do is for the action application, I am going to search for Klaviyo right over here. So I'm going to create a Klaviyo profile first, and then we are going to add that profile into a list. So I'm going to search for Klaviyo V2 right over here, and then we are going to select it. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as create profile, and then we are going to click on connect. And as soon as we are going to click on connect, it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Klaviyo V2 account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Click on add a new connection and then connect with Klaviyo V2. And now it is asking me for the revision, so we are going to select it as this only, and then we are going to click on save. And as soon as we are going to click on save, it is asking me for some permissions. So first I'm going to click on continue right over here. We are going to select our account, and as soon as we are going to select my account, you can see that it is asking me for all of these permissions. So I'm going to click on allow and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on allow Pabbly save, and as soon as we are going to click on allow, we can see that we have successfully connected our Klaviyo V2 account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me for the email address. So we are going to map this email address. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Forms as our trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we are going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So I'm going to give you an example that over here for the email address, suppose I'm going to enter dummy22@pabblytudes.com right over here manually like this, then this will not change with every new response received because this is static information and I've entered it manually. But if we are going to map it from the previous response, as you can see, the email. So suppose we are going to map this from the previous response, then yes, this will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping right over here to run our workflow in real time. And now it is asking me for the phone number. So we are going to map the phone number to, I'm going to search for it, and as you can see the phone number, so we are going to map it. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the external ID. So as you can see that this is not the required field, so I'm going to leave it as blank. And now it is asking me for the first name and last name. But over here you can see that we have the name as a full name format. So we have to split this first name and last name. For that we are going to add another action step right over here between our trigger and action. So I'm going to add the action step right over here to separate the full name into first name and last name. So now for the action application, we are going to search it as text formatter by Pabbly. So it is a feature by Pabbly which helps you to format the text. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as split text, and again we are going to click on connect. As soon as we are going to click on connect, it is asking me for the text to split. So I'm going to select the text to split right over here, which is the name. So I'm going to search for it, and as you can see dummy user, so we are going to select it. And now it is asking me for the separator. So over here you can see that in the help text it is saying enter the characters or word separators to split the text. For space, use space as this. So I'm going to select the space as the separator only. So I'm going to copy it and then we're going to paste it right over here. And now it is asking me for the segment index. So I'm going to select it as all right over here, and then we are going to click on save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to click on save and send test request, you can see that we have received the result. Over here you can see dummy and user separated. So we are going to map this same first name and last name right over here in our Klaviyo. We are going to map the first name from the response of our text formatter by Pabbly. Over here you can see dummy, and same we are going to do for the last name to open this response and map user. And after mapping this, we are going to move on forward, map the organization. I'm going to search for organization right over here, and as you can see Pabbly, so we are going to map it. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the title, image and many another details. So as you can see, all of these details are not the required details, so I'm going to leave it as blank, and directly we are going to move and click on to save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to click on save and send test request, you can see that we have successfully created a new profile with this email address and this name and the organization. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo and check for the new profile created. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo right from here. We are going to go on profiles, and as soon as we are going to open this, you can see profile demo user. You can see the email too that we entered. Yes, you can see that we have successfully created the profile, and now we want to add this same profile to our list. So for that I'm going to add another action step right for here. And now for the action application, again we are going to select it as Klaviyo. So I'm going to search for it, and as you can see the same, so we are going to select it. And now after doing this, for the action event, we are going to select it as add profiles to list, and then we are going to click on connect, and again it is asking me for the same. So as you know that we have previously connected our Klaviyo account recently, so I'm going to click on select existing connection and then save. And as soon as we are going to do this, you can see that we have successfully connected our Klaviyo V2 account with our Pabbly's workflow. And now it is asking me for the list ID. So over here you can see that this is the list I want to add my profiles in, which is Power of Automation Webinar Registrants. So I'm going to select the same list right over here, and as soon as we are going to do this, it is asking me for the profile ID. So over here you can see that it is asking me to select one from this, but we want to map that. For that we are going to switch on this mapping button and turn this field a dynamic one. So now after switching on this mapping button, we are going to map the profile from this. Over here you can see the data ID. So we are going to map this profile from the response of our Klaviyo, and we are going to map this profile ID. And now after mapping this profile ID, we have successfully made this a dynamic one. And now we are going to click on save and send test request. And as soon as we are going to click on save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received the positive response, and we have successfully added this same profile to our Klaviyo list, which is this. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo account and check for the profile added into the list. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo account, open the list right from here, and as soon as we are going to open the list, yes, you can see that we have successfully added a profile right over here too. Profile name, dummy user and the email that we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, but I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I am going to give you a real-time example. So what we are going to do is we are going to open the form again, and we are going to do another test submission with the new details. So for the name, I'm going to keep it as test user this time. So I'm going to enter it right over here. We're going to do the test submission with the new details. For the email, we are going to keep it as testuser22@pabblytunes.com. We are going to move on forward. For the phone number, I want to keep it as this. And now after entering the details for the organization, I'm going to keep it as PabblyCon. So I'm going to enter it right over here. And now after after entering this, for the dietary restrictions, I'm going to keep it as none. For the specific areas of automation, I'm going to keep it as social media. Where did you hear about this webinar? Website. And then we are going to move on forward. And now for the current automation experience, I'm going to leave it as blank because this is not the required field. And again, we are going to click on submit. And as soon as we are going to click on submit, you can see that yes, we have successfully did another test submission. And now what has happened is that Google Forms has sent the details of our test submission to our spreadsheet, and then further spreadsheet send the details of our test submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further created a new profile in our Klaviyo account and added that profile into our list. So I'm going to open my Klaviyo account and check for the new profile created, and then we are going to open our list and check for that profile added in the list or not. So first I'm going to open my Klaviyo account right from here, and we are going to go on profiles, and yes, you can see a new profile created. Over here you can see the name of the profile and the email that we entered. So we are going to open our list. I'm going to open that same list and check that if that profile has been added to the list or not. So I'm going to open it right from here, and yes, you can see name of the profile and the email we entered just now has been added to our list too. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For the trigger application, we selected Google Forms. For the trigger event, we selected new response received, and then for the action application, we selected text formatter by Pabbly because I wanted to split the full name into first name and last name. Again, for the action application, we selected Klaviyo because I wanted to create a new profile, and then again for the action application, we selected Klaviyo because I wanted to add that profile to a particular list. And yes, we were successful with our workflow. Over here you can see that we added these two profiles in our list with the help of our workflow. So yes, this automation can give us these several benefits, like it keeps our email list well organized, enables efficient and targeted follow-up communications, and allows for the personalized marketing based on the attendees' interest. So by automating this process, we can save time, reduce manual data entry errors, and improve our engagement with attendees through timely and relevant updates about the future events. So this not only boosts our operational efficiency but also enhances our ability to connect with our audience effectively. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.